rivals tonight. The legendary Celtics, their first trip in a dozen years. And here's a man who's played in 9 NBA Finals in his career. Magic Johnson is with our regular crew tonight.
Absolutely. In 12 years.
Stephen A. Smith, Michael Wilbon, Jalen Rose. I'm Mike Greenberg. We are thrilled to be here with you to bring you all the action tonight. And for our opening tip, our Malika Andrews had this chat with Draymond Green.
Why were you so confident that you were going to be facing Boston?
I know a championship caliber team when I see one. Championship teams has a guy who can go get a bucket no matter what. They have that. They have great defenders. They have a great coach who's young coach, but is showing that he can make adjustments and that he's ready for the moment. Like, they have the pieces.
It's a classic matchup. It has the potential to be a great series. We certainly hope it will be. We're looking for overriding thoughts here as we begin. Magic Johnson, what's yours?
Well, the great offense of Golden State going up against the great defense of the Celtics. Who will win that battle, right? And then last but not least, I would say this. Golden State, 7 days of rest, going up against the Celtics who just got out of a tough 7-game series against the Heat. Will they be tired? So game one, I'm looking for those two storylines.
Stephen A.
I'm looking for the big three. I call them lethal weapon three. I'm talking about Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Jordan Poole. In my estimation, 2 of the 3 will have to show up for at least 4 games this series in a big-time way in order for the Golden State Warriors to win 4 games. 1 of the 3 ain't going to cut it. 2 of the 3 is going to have to show up because Boston's defense is going to show up, and somebody's going to show up for them offensively. To answer that call, we know they're perimeter shooting finesse team. These brothers are long-range shooters. They've got to show up in order to beat Boston in the series.
My expectation is that the Golden State Warriors going to come out and start throwing haymakers from the opening tap. And Steph Curry understands the gravity of trying to win a championship pre-KD and post-KD, and knowing that he hasn't won a Finals MVP, and also knowing that Magic, I'm pretty sure you're going to appreciate this. He's going against the Defensive Player of the Year, and people said that he locked him down.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry made sure he said that was in the regular season. That wasn't in the playoffs. So I'm looking for that guy to come out and be aggressive.
That player is Marcus Smart of the Celtics, who has been the most effective defender on Steph Curry in his career. Michael.
I'm going to go off script for a second. People can see and hear what's behind us and all around us. 42 years ago, when this man made his debut in the NBA Finals, the NBA Finals featuring Magic and Kareem and the Los Angeles Lakers was on tape delay. Okay, forget about this particular kind of show being on live. The game wasn't on live. And now to be out here in San Francisco in front of this unbelievable facility and have the kind of mania that surrounds the NBA Finals and surrounds a pregame show, our show, it's just sort of amazing. And I thought about that because Irvin's sitting here, and I just remember the context and how different it is now versus then.
Well, it's entertainment. You know, it's not just a game anymore. It's a band, it's fans everywhere. It's us sitting here outside live. But I want to say this is a key, and you talked about it on your show on First Take. How are the referees going to call this game one and the whole series? It's going to be a key for both teams. A quick whistle favors Golden State. If that's not a quick whistle, it favors the Celtics. Now they can hold, bump, elbow, and be physical with the Warriors.
Give you something to watch as we get this thing started tonight. We're a little less than a half an hour away from tipping off game one of these NBA Finals here in San Francisco. And if there's any question about it, these fans are ready to cheer their home team to a victory tonight. Celtics and Warriors, and we're counting it.
Met in the playoffs, 58 years to be exact. Steph Curry warming up, going through his typical rigmarole as Caesars Sportsbook has him as the odds-on favorite to win his first NBA Finals MVP. Certainly, Kevin, Marcus Smart will have something to say about that. You couldn't ask for more intriguing matchups as we get ready for game one of the NBA Finals happening over on ABC. Kevin, it's funny, when we started this 2 hours ago here on SportsCenter, it was completely empty. I see you're holding your ear now. It feels like, right, the energy is palpable as we get closer to tip.
Yeah, first time the Chase Center's hosting an NBA Finals environment, and it's like old hat here. Back at Oracle in Oakland, now we're in San Francisco. The Warriors have been here before, El. Let's go by the numbers. And by the way, this matchup between the Celtics and Warriors, we've seen this before. Oh, there's Spike!
Right, look at the
Spike
outfit,
sighting.
Kevin.
It's officially an NBA game when Spike is here, right? All right, these two teams played in the finals in 1964 when the Celtics beat the San Francisco Warriors. A 58-year span is the largest for a playoff matchup in NBA history. Game 1 winner of the finals goes on to win nearly 7. And again, as I mentioned, Game 1 of the Chase Center, Warriors 9-0 in these playoffs. Golden State also 7-0 at home all time in Game 1 of the finals. New on Sports Center, the head coaches talking about tonight's game, starting with Steve Kerr.
Just excited, we've been on this run now in the postseason for whatever it is, 6 weeks or so, and thrilled to be back. Game 1, there's always some jitters, and can't wait to get out there and play. So it's time. I think our guys are ready to go.
Well, staff has some experience. I've been to 2 myself and some of our assistants, but I'd say overrated in general. Our young guys have had a lot of success so far, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals multiple times, and so for us, we try to simplify it, not overcomplicate it. Business as usual, basketball as usual, and the things we did to be successful coming here, we'll try to do more of the same.
Ime hasn't been phased on the road. Speaking of not being, that's Mars Blackman. That's not even Spike Lee. It's got to be the shoes, Money. Good to see my man here. Of course, looking dapper with the all-white attire. And again, I talk about it's got to be the shoes. Look at the gold matchup set up perfectly there for Spike Lee, a.k.a. Mars Blackman. Look him up, kids. And he's watching, of course, Steph Curry here at the Chase Center warming up from the outside. We've got some news coming in the last 45 minutes as our NBA insider, Brian Windhorst, joining us. So injury update, Otto Porter given the green light. Andre Iguodala, we haven't seen a lot of him, given the green light to play. And Gary Payton II given the green light to play. We haven't seen him since May 3rd, suffering that injury against the Grizzlies. Expectations from this trio tonight in this matchup.
So they are available. How much they're going to play, that's what we're going to see. Gary Payton II is the real question, Kevin, because his defensive versatility really gives the Warriors a lot of opportunities to align their defense differently. But, he has a broken left elbow he's recovering from. He is left-handed. So we have to see how well he can shoot the ball. But what really this gives Steve Kerr is a different array of options. He has a menu of options to alter his lineups. I was just talking to one of the Boston Celtics officials, and they were saying this entire first half is going to be about feeling each other out. We're both going to surprise each other. So Steve Kerr, with these 3 guys healthy, now has different things he can do to match up with the way the Celtics decide to play.
When you look at the rotation for the Celtics, especially the last couple series, Udoka is going with 7 guys. That's his rotation here. The expectation that you have here with Jaylen Brown in a series like that starting tonight.
Well, Jaylen's behind us warming up, and it's because Jaylen is a huge variance player, Kevin. He is one of the top players in the entire playoffs in generating offense, driving to the basket. And he's one of the top guys who turns the ball over driving to the basket. He's one of the top fourth quarter scorers in the entire playoffs. The Celtics' top fourth quarter scorer in the playoffs. Yet, he has completely vanished in a couple of big-time clutch moments. So I know that Jaylen Brown is going to have a big impact on tonight's game. What I don't know is which side it's going to be.
Is it good
That's
or
what
bad?
we're going to watch. And I think he's probably thinking about that himself right behind us.
Clutch moments. Honestly, the Celtics have been fantastic in the playoffs, but there have been some games where you're scratching your head and you're wondering what's going on with this team, yet they've won in 7 games against the Bucks as well as 7 games against the Heat. On the other side, we got a group that's coming back here. You've covered the NBA Finals for 11 years. You've seen the Warriors now 6 times. What's different about this appearance by the Warriors from previous ones?
This is my 6th game 1 in the Bay Area, over here in San Francisco now. I've never seen the Warriors like this before. First off, they're all in their core players are all in their 30s now. They used to be young guys, but a couple of old guys hanging around, like Andrew Bogut and David West. Now they're the old guys with some young guys hanging around, and you can really feel that in listening to them. You know, you talk. Steph Curry talks about talking to his teammates and how different his life is than the young guys. Draymond Green talks about how he's learned with his younger teammates he's got to be like a father figure, not a brother figure, and obviously everything that they've gone through in these last 2 years. When they were here in 2019, they were exhausted. They were mentally worn down. They were the defending champs, but the Durant free agency had worn them down. The season had worn them down. They are here completely refreshed and really glad to be here. Sometimes when teams keep getting back to the finals, it's tedious.
Yep.
These guys are loving it. I think we're going to see it the way they approach this game.
Yeah, on your podcast, Hoop Collective, you talked about organizational fatigue.
Yeah.
5 straight years, extended playoffs, and now refresh, revived here with this young group. I'm saying young because they also have a mixture here with Jordan Poole and guys that have never played. Andrew Wiggins getting ready for their first NBA Finals experience. Hey, getting us ready for Game 1 tonight on ABC, less than an hour away. The Countdown crew from